What's up, guys? So it is new car day. As you guys know, we bought the Lancer wagon a couple weeks ago. That was probably a couple videos ago for you guys. But we got a parts car to do the actual Evo conversion. So it just showed up right now. First from the Copart lot. So first look at it, you can see it has an aftermarket front bumper. So this is actually an Evo 9, but it has a like a fiberglass 8 front bumper on it. It has these side skirts. They look like they're carbon fiber down there on the bottom. Has some it's like some XXR wheels on it. Firehawk tires. It has the JDM rear bumper with the little rear diffuser. Has a carbon fiber trunk with a little duckbill on it. So you can see it's basically a straight piped exhaust, but has the full diff, subframe, all that type of stuff in it that we need. And then pop the interior. So obviously Evo 9 seats, because it's an Evo 9. And then one of the things that's kind of, it is a mechanical damage. It does have coilovers on it, but if you guys see, the timing stuff is off of it, and I don't know if it even has a turbo manifold on it. So looks like there's maybe like a little fire or something up here in the corner. All right, so the guys helped me push this thing over here into the shop. And so popping the hood, you can see that obviously a couple things have been taken apart, but it doesn't look too bad from up here. Air filter is missing. Battery is missing. Look like they had like the little small battery kit over here. Looking at this little pipe right here, it has a FP or a force performance intake. And then I was looking down there at the turbo, and it looks like it says FP on it. So it has some sort of aftermarket turbo. It has an aftermarket front mount intercooler. And if you come over here to the side of the engine, you can see the power steering pump is hanging off of it. The AC compressor belt, all that stuff, and then the lower timing chain and gears and all that type of stuff are kind of exposed, like they were messing with the timing. So I went ahead and I popped the trunk, and I found this eBay box in the back. And like I said, this thing was a mechanical damage. So if you look in here, we actually have, looks like a crank girdle. So it probably just has the crank just kind of chilling in there. It has the drain off of the turbo. It has the starter and the little crank pulley thing right there. So I'm definitely assuming it has some sort of a, had some sort of a rod knock or a crank issue. On my last Evo 9 that I built, like probably 4 years ago or so, I basically got it completely torn apart. Like, the crank was literally just laying in a box next to the block and next to the head and everything. If you guys remember that video or those videos way back in the day. So at least this one, I'm starting off on a much better platform. I could pull the crank and everything out of it, have it machined, order some rod bearings, order some pistons, rods, all that other type of stuff, and then kind of go from there. So looking at the body kit on this thing, I'm not quite sure what I want to do yet, because this thing is an 06 Evo 9 with 98,000 original miles on it, and it does have a clean title, and you can see the seats aren't in too bad a shape. It has a little bar that goes around the back. It has some gauges right here. It has like a HKS turbo timer, some switches and some other stuff like that. But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know exactly what to do with this thing. I'm curious. I'd like to get it up on the lift and actually start looking at the bottom end of it and see how bad that starts looking down there. And then I guess that'll give us a good idea. But what I'd really like to do is actually pull it outside and wash it. But right now it's like 30 degrees out, so I'm gonna let it warm up just a little bit, and then we should be able to wash this thing and get a little bit more of an idea of how this thing's gonna look. Other thing that it has is, so it has a aftermarket carbon fiber hood. It has, I'm not sure, it has a carbon fiber roof. I'm not sure if this just glues on. And then it has the carbon fiber trunk with the little duckbill on the back. So it's a pretty cool looking Evo. I mean, honestly, it looks really sweet. So it would be kind of sad to tear this all apart to put it in the wagon, but sometimes you gotta sacrifice stuff. What do you think? Hey, did you see this?
What?
This thing rolls up. And just gotta pull it.
I just wasn't spraying around there.
Do you think this thing's gonna clean up nice? It already looks a zillion times better.
There's somebody on there. You can actually see the carbon now.
Yeah.
See it?
And this thing's all carbon out. Carbon that. I think it's just wrapped. Yeah, I think it's just wrapped. This thing kind of fits like poo, but
I mean,
it makes sense though. It's kind of a cool looking thing though.
No, the duck though.
I like the rear bumper though the most.
Is that is that just like a JDM style? Or
No, that's the actual JDM one. Yeah, that's how they come from over there.
But it's not like a replica?
No. Ooh, it's got a little paint fade.
Been painted anything?
I don't know. They couldn't find the key. Couldn't find the keyhole.
On the passenger side.
Ooh, wow.
This is Blake. You outdid yourself, buddy.
He hasn't even sauced it up yet with the show shine.
You haven't even used any of our premium detail products, huh?
I didn't use the dress suit press. I used
just the Clean King.
And vacuum bit.
Man. Alright guys, so we got the Evo up on the lift, checking out some stuff underneath it, and the oil pan was actually already kind of loose, obviously, because the crank girdle was in the trunk in this box with the turbo drain, all that other stuff. So you can see a starter, pulley, you know, crank girdle, all the crank scraper, little windage tray. So looking under here, you can see that there is a little bit of there's some issues right there on the crank. Same thing with the rods. None of the rods are like black or blue, which shows that they had a lot of heat in them. And actually, by looking at the main bearings right here, you could see it went all the way down to the copper on it, but it didn't like eat it out and go super crazy, like spinning the bearings or doing anything like that. This is the only one that looks like it may have spun a little bit. So I don't know if it had a rod knock or what it sounded like, or if they just maybe heard something or lost oil pressure, and then, you know, pulled the pan, kind of figured out all this other stuff. You could see some stuff over there in the corner for sure. You can see all that that coppery, flaky stuff. I'm almost wondering, I mean, it almost looks like there's like dirt in the oil pan. Like it almost looks like mud, kind of all that stuff right there. So the car does not have an oil or an air filter on it, and it looked like it was some sort of a track car. It has aftermarket sway bars. It has these Firestone Firehawk Indy, which are, I think, kind of like more of a budget track tire. Has coilovers on it. The car has a harness bar in it with harnesses and like a little GoPro mount and stuff on it. So maybe it was a track car. Maybe they went off track and, you know, scraped something right here on the oil filter, or this was from the this was either from the forklift loading it and unloading it, because when you buy cars from the auction, you know, typically you'll always get these scrapes from the forklift right here. So it was either that at the auction yard, or maybe something like this happened on track. Obviously you could see the front bumper has seen better days, and, you know, obviously it had some sort of an impact. So maybe it hit that, maybe it lost oil pressure and then got into the bearings and stuff. So I guarantee it would probably still run. Like if we threw it back together, it would run, but there's no point in doing that. So, and it does have an aftermarket clutch in it already. It looks like a lightweight flywheel. Not sure about how many pads are on the disc, but if you look over in here, it's a white clutch disc. So it's probably like a Clutch Masters or something, but got some Megan coilovers on it. Obviously, I think the best thing to do is, you know, makes sense now, is to just build this motor, because when we do the swap and try to put everything, or when we do put everything in the wagon, you know, I don't want just like a, you know, 450, 500 horsepower setup. I think it'd be cool to have like a 700 horsepower Evo wagon, you know, or potentially more. So, you know, maybe debating the idea of a stroker crank, maybe bring it up to like a 2.2, you know, or 2.3, or maybe we could case swap it and have a 2.4. But yeah, it's definitely a cool car. It's gonna hurt to take this thing apart. I did see that it was in some sort of a front end collision previously in its life, because it has an OEM radiator support on it already, so somebody's already replaced front end stuff, and that's probably when they did the, you know, the fiberglass bumper and the new front mount intercooler and all that type of stuff. Probably did the intercooler piping and all that stuff at the same time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As of now, we're basically gonna kind of get on the internet and start figuring out what parts we need to get ordered, and then pull in the wagon and really start looking at what it's going to take to get both of these cars to kind of mate back together. Obviously, you know, you want to put this whole differential and all that other stuff, but the rear of the wagon is a little bit different than this. So obviously fuel tank and all that stuff too because of the drive shaft. But that will be another video. So as of right now, I really appreciate you guys watching. If you guys like this project, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and you know, maybe comment on this video. Let me know. You think I'm crazy for tearing apart an 06 Evo 9 with 98,000 miles and a clean title to sacrifice into an Evo wagon, or you know, should I find another donor? Because this one's too nice. I haven't decided yet either, but that's gonna be it for this video, guys. See you later.